You? Yes, you. Not the crowd, not the audience. You, the single breathing, thinking human being behind this screen right now. I need you to stop for just a second. Not scroll, not check another tab. Just pause and answer me honestly. When was the last time you were certain, truly certain, that the thoughts in your head were yours? I'm not asking when you last thought for yourself. I'm asking, when was the last time you could prove that what you believed wasn't quietly planted there by someone else? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of us live inside a prison we can't see, built from ideas we didn't choose and defended by habits we don't even notice. The chains aren't metal, they're made of beliefs. And the most dangerous part? We wear them like jewelry. Dietrich Bonhoeffer, a man who was imprisoned and later executed for opposing the Nazi regime, once said something that still sends a shiver down my spine. The ultimate test of a moral society is the kind of future it leaves to its children. But in his letters from prison, he also wrote about something far more subtle and far more dangerous than outright tyranny. He warned about the silent surrender of the human mind. He saw that the greatest threat to freedom wasn't the man with the whip or the ruler with the crown. It was the ordinary, decent citizen who believed they were free, but never once questioned the ideas they lived by. Sound familiar? It should, because you and I are living in that reality right now. 2,000 years before Bonhoeffer, Plato told a story about a dark cave. Inside, prisoners were chained from birth, forced to stare at a wall. Behind them, a fire cast shadows, shapes, movements, illusions. The prisoners knew nothing else, so they believed the shadows were reality. One day, a prisoner broke free. He stumbled into the sunlight. At first, it hurt. His eyes burned, his mind rebelled. But then, he saw the real world, colors, faces, trees, a sky so wide it made him dizzy. When he went back to tell the others, do you know what they did? They laughed at him. They called him crazy. Some even wanted him dead. Why? Because the truth wasn't comfortable, and comfort for most people is worth more than freedom. Modern psychology has a name for this: cognitive entrenchment. The longer you hold a belief, especially one that's been reinforced by your peers, your culture, your media, the harder it becomes to let it go. Challenge it, and it feels like you're tearing away a piece of your own identity. That's why propaganda works. That's why advertising works. That's why political slogans are short, simple, and repeated over and over until they sound like truth. Nietzsche once said, "Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed." And today, we're living in an age where those illusions aren't just natural, they're engineered. Algorithms know you better than you know yourself. They know what makes you angry, what makes you laugh, what makes you click. And little by little, they feed you exactly what will keep you in your mental lane. Here's the part almost nobody talks about. The highest form of control is not when someone forces you to think a certain way. It's when they make you believe you chose it yourself. Think about it. How many of your so-called dreams are actually yours? That car you want, that lifestyle you envy, that version of yourself you're chasing. Did you create it? Or did someone sell it to you in 1,000 subtle ways until you mistook it for your own desire? In Renaissance Florence, Niccolò Machiavelli studied rulers and power. He noticed something. Fear could control people, but only for so long. The better strategy? Give them a dream to chase. If you create the vision they desire, you don't have to force them into obedience. They'll walk there on their own, thanking you for the journey. And that's exactly what's happening today. Only the dream is packaged in high definition, filtered, photoshopped, and priced with your attention. The more you chase it, the more you feel you're falling behind. And yet you can't stop. Because stopping would mean facing a terrifying possibility: that you've been living for something that was never yours to begin with. A friend once told me about his father, a miner who spent 40 years underground, working 14 hours a day. He never complained. "It's just the way things are," he'd say. Then one year, the mind shut down. His father sat at the kitchen table for hours, staring into nothing. When asked what was wrong, he said quietly, "I don't know who I am without the mind." That's the danger. If your identity comes entirely from what the world hands you the moment it's taken away, you're gone. So, who are you without the stories you've been told, without the brands you wear, without the political stance you've memorized from your favorite commentator, without the social media identity you've built one post at a time? Are you sure you've ever truly met yourself? Bonhoeffer warned of something he called cheap grace. In the same spirit, I'll call it cheap freedom. It's the kind of freedom where the door to the cage is open, but you never walk out. Maybe you're afraid, maybe you're comfortable, maybe you've been in the cage so long the outside world feels hostile. The sad truth? Most people aren't stopped by an oppressor, they stop themselves. You say you want to be free, but do you want the price? Because real freedom is not safe. It is not comfortable. It will cost you relationships, opportunities, maybe even your place in the tribe. Plato's escaped prisoner? He didn't get applause. He got hostility. Because nothing threatens a comfortable lie like a free person living the truth. So what now? How do you walk out of a prison you can't see? Step 1. Question everything you didn't choose. Why do I believe what I believe? Who benefits from me believing it? What would I lose if I stopped? Step 2. Seek information outside your bubble. Read the books they don't recommend. Study history from the side that lost. Notice how truth changes depending on who's telling it. Step 3. Confront your own programming. Freedom doesn't start by fighting the system. It starts by fighting yourself, your conditioned responses, your default reactions, your unexamined habits. Your mind is the most valuable territory on earth. Every ideology, every corporation, every government is competing to plant their flag there. They use repetition because your brain equates familiarity with truth. They use fear because fear bypasses logic. They use belonging because humans are wired to trade almost anything, even truth, for acceptance. Break that cycle, and you'll see how much of your life has been on autopilot. One day, you will wake up for the last time. You won't know it's the last morning you'll ever see. And when that day comes, you won't care how many likes you had, how many people approved of you, or how perfectly you fit into the mold society made for you. You'll care about one thing. Did you live as yourself, or as the version they built for you? The chains are invisible. The key is in your hand. You can drop it and go back to sleep, or you can turn it and walk out of the cave. The choice has always been yours.